for those on the streets.
We hit the road. We make sure that our van is stocked with water, snacks, socks, anything that is basic survival to make sure that people can at least survive their circumstance.
Plus details on the new multi-million-dollar plan to restore Colorado's unemployment fund.
And the push to make Colorado's marathon more inclusive.
If you have opportunity to do something, people will come and show up and do it.
Julia, they're part of a pilot program. We're all going to be rooting for her at the Colfax Marathon here in a couple weeks. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be a warm one today.
Yeah, too warm today for a marathon.
For a run.
Yeah.
Well, we got the Boulder coming up here in a month
Any temperature
too.
is too
To something.
for a marathon.
A reason not to run.
Right.
We know you don't like running.
We'll get him out there one of these days. It is going to be a warm one, though. Yeah, if you want to get out for a run or a walk, do it early on, because by this afternoon, it's going to be, Jason, can you say it? It's going to be sweaty. Can you do it?
Sweaty.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. It's been too long since we've done it. Low 50s this morning, 52 in Denver right now. Beautiful. We have clear skies, sunshine, wind southwest at about 7 to 10 miles per hour. Pretty light, and we're going to see wind gusts this afternoon at about 20 to 25 miles per hour as those temperatures rise. 70 by noon, mid to upper 70s, near 80 for a high later today. Some really nice patio weather. It'll be 70 by lunch, and then again, right around happy hour time, we're hitting those upper 70s, 50s and 60s in the mountains today. Now, there will be a little increase in cloud cover, partly sunny this afternoon. It was really nice to get some rain yesterday. Didn't help much here in town, and tomorrow you can see we have red flag warnings going into effect. Fire danger is once again going to be high, and the winds are kicking up. That's why it's an issue. Jason, we'll take a closer look at that coming up here in a few minutes.
And right now, the overall drive is pretty heavy in some spots, but not too bad in others. As we're taking a look at C470 out to the drive near Morrison, we're looking at some sun glare slowing. This is the westbound side. Here's the eastbound side. Bandamere would be right over there. And you can see the overall drive looks pretty good. We do have a crash not too far from there over on Kipling at 285. It's going to slow you down just a little bit, but otherwise 285 is wide open. 6th Avenue looking better from earlier problems over there. South side of town, just busy for us in the usual spots. Same thing up to the north side with some really heavy traffic into downtown along I-25. So the good news is there's no major big problems for us on the freeways, but it's still pretty crowded in a lot of spots.
Some breaking news this morning. Moderna wants the FDA to authorize its COVID shot for kids under 6. The company has applied for emergency use authorization. Moderna says its vaccine created a strong immune response. The vaccine still will not be available for kids under 5 months old.
How the city of Aurora addresses homelessness changes today. The city's urban camping ban went into effect overnight.
Denver 7's Veronica Acosta is live with some new regulations for both people experiencing homelessness and police.
Starting today, those experiencing homelessness, they can no longer set up camp on public property without permission. But before they get those encampments cleared out, law enforcement officials, they have to give them proper notice. So city officials actually have to let these people experiencing homelessness know that they'll be clearing out a camp with 72 hours notice in order so they can relocate. This can only happen if the city has open shelter options for those having to leave the place they're currently calling home. The measure passed Aurora City Council a month ago on its third try. Council members did add an amendment allowing the city manager to create a policy related to storing personal property from these homeless camps. That policy must include how long those items will be available to those receiving homeless services after a sweep. We spoke with an Aurora team that focuses on getting resources out to those in encampments 5 days a week. They say they aren't sure how this ban will change their jobs, but said it won't change their mission.
I expect my job to change regardless of what's happening in other realms. But I know that as long as we are continuously working with the city and with the other organizations who serve our populations, I'm confident that we will be able to reach our goals.
And days ago, city officials here in Aurora told us the city council will be further discussing that policy on storing items during a city council meeting that's scheduled for May 2nd. We'll keep you updated on what comes of that. We're live in Aurora this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Thank you, Veronica. Castle Rock police have identified this man, 32-year-old Matthew Buchanan, as a person of interest in a suspicious house fire in Castle Rock that killed a woman. A woman was found dead inside the home that caught fire. Buchanan was last seen driving a white Dodge minivan with temporary Colorado plates 3964372. The victim inside the home was Elizabeth Bjorlo. Police haven't yet said how she died, but court records show last year she had a restraining order against Buchanan. And police are still looking for the suspects behind a shooting in Green Valley Ranch. We brought you this as breaking news yesterday morning. 3 people, including a young boy, were killed. Police have not identified the victims.
This morning, a group of Denver parents are pushing the school district to keep bilingual programs in place. DPS Moms Fighting for Public Schools plans to hold a news conference at 8:30 this morning at Colfax Elementary. They say the district has dismantled transitional native language instruction programs, especially at the smaller schools. The group is demanding DPS sticks with its consent decree to improve multilingual support for students.
It's game over for the Nuggets. They'll be watching the rest of the NBA playoffs from home. They lost to the Golden State Warriors in Game 5 last night. It was a close one. Final score 98-102.
Well, new this morning, the U.S. economy shrank last quarter by nearly 1.5%. That's compared to nearly 7% growth we saw at the end of last year. It's also the first economic contraction in nearly 2 years. Analysts blame inflation and supply chain issues. The one bright spot was that personal spending was up. The just released unemployment report shows 180,000 Americans applied for new benefits last week, and that's a slight drop from the week before. Claims are staying at historically low levels, last seen in the 1960s. We will get state unemployment numbers later this morning.
Well, Colorado lawmakers have unveiled a bill to overhaul the state's unemployment system. Right now, there is a $1 billion in debt that employers are on the hook to pay back. The proposal would send about $600 million in federal COVID funding to the state's depleted unemployment insurance trust fund.
Also this morning, a new report is giving us some insight into Colorado's housing market.
Yeah, it looks at the odds of home prices dropping in cities across the country. So this morning we're taking a 360 in-depth look, diving into the market predictions for the Denver metro, also the impact rising interest rates could have, and something that could be good news for buyers, a change realtors are already seeing here. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford starts us off here, and you comb through that report about whether or not prices might drop anywhere. Yeah,
that's right. A lot of people hoping for that affordable house may have to wait a little bit longer. Coloradans hoping to see prices drop anytime soon. Oh, don't hold your breath here. Here's that report that shows where home prices are dropping across the nation, and taking a closer look now, according to the CoreLogic real estate companies, the markets in red have a high chance of dropping. You can see on the map not too many of those. The markets in blue have a low chance of prices dropping. Denver Metro is very blue on that map, but that doesn't mean that the housing market here is healthy. The report found 65% of housing markets are overvalued, and the Front Range of Colorado was on that list of being overpriced. Some industry experts are hoping that rising interest rates will slow down the increase in housing prices, and those interest rates are climbing. To give you context, mortgage rates have hit their highest level since 2009. The 30-year fixed rate is averaging at 5.37. According to Freddie Mac, in April of last year, the average rate was 3.06. Those interest rates drive up prices for buyers. Experts say that they're seeing a drop in mortgage applications as rates go up, and there was a more than 8% decrease in people applying for mortgage loans last week.
All right, Jessica, thank you. Well, the drop in mortgage applications does mean that fewer people are buying homes. And the team at the real estate company Homey.com is already seeing an indication in Denver that we're not seeing bidding wars as much anymore. And some sellers are having to cut their prices because not as many people can afford the homes. That could actually be some good news for buyers.
Between list price and sale price, it's coming down about almost 6%. And that's roughly between $50,000 to $60,000. I think that's the changing part on the buy side, is they'll have a little bit more negotiation muscle, but trying to figure out exactly, where that is and how that applies. But then asking for concessions, inspections coming back into the fold instead of just inspection as is.
The experts say a real estate agent can help you figure out what to bid in this changing market.
Prepare for a price hike to visit Rocky Mountain National Park, what the extra money will help pay for. Also, student loan payments are delayed until September, but a new survey shows borrowers have mixed feelings about canceling the debt altogether.